It's January 2021, and if you're in the UK, you've just learnt that we're now in a lockdown as of tomorrow, I believe. A national lockdown where the restrictions have been upgraded, you might say. Luckily, you'll still be able to do this. Exercise with at least one other friend, be that dog or human. Which is good because let's face it, this is exactly what everybody needs. Whether you're in the city or lucky enough to be in the countryside, we all need to get outside. And of course, if you're me, you want to get outside and experience the cold. Now, what I want to talk to you today are a couple of things, and that is, in typical January fashion, us humans like to set ourselves goals, targets. And in typical human-like fashion, we often set those goals, targets, go about them with enthusiasm and excitement, and then by the end of January, we give up. Good. I say good because that is a good example of me coming out of my flow, my thread of conversation. And rather than struggling and persevering, I gave it a good sort of 2 or 3 more goes before realizing it's time to pack up the kit and just get back to engaging in that walk out in nature. When I know that I'm not doing a video, then my walk in nature is very different. I don't have any technology with me. It's just me, Winston, nature, and the cold. and it's lovely. It's an amazing way of engaging your senses, you know, not just your thermoreceptive, but also your kinesthetic, your auditory, your olfactory. You know, I deliberately engage all of them and focus on them so that I'm more present, I'm in the moment, and it becomes a lovely experience. But of course, if I'm talking to you lot whilst out there, and I want to talk to you because I want to pass on these ideas, but I then have a barrier by having that technology, a barrier between those senses. So it does mean that when I'm talking, I might be at one point in a good thread, or vein, as it were, and then I get distracted and pulled out of it. And that's exactly what happened there. You know, quite often when you see my little cutaways and crossfades, it's because I've fallen out of that thread, that line of conversation. So I've come back in, I've layered up, well, not so much now. I've got a nice warm coffee. And my body is now trying to regain that hormesis, where it's the perfect balance. And in particular, obviously, the perfect temperature, which for most humans, I think is around 37 degrees. So my body's now in the warm, I've layered up. In fact, I've just taken a layer off actually. So my body hopefully is probably regaining that balance now. What I want to talk to you about today are a couple of things. Number one, tomorrow, stand by at 4 o'clock GMT on my YouTube channel for a live discussion with Dr. Milan Hoster. He is one of the early collaborators and creators of the Flow Code, for which I'm now a Flow Coach. We will be discussing developing a flow personality, looking at breath protocols as a channel for that. So he's been teaching breath work for a good 20 years. And in particular, his background is very much centered around sports psychology as well. So he can bring lots to the table with this conversation around flow. And so that's going to be I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a very interesting conversation. The lovely thing about it for you is that it is live, so you will get the opportunity to chuck in any questions. I'll state now, I'm not always very good at seeing those questions. I'll try to answer them if I can, but I'm not always able to do that. And if I can't, obviously I'll answer them afterwards. Also worth stating, next Monday is the start of my Flow course, my evolutionary or 10-day introductory course to evolutionary flow. It's 50 quid or 49.99. It's 10 days. You get a couple of webinars, you get some breathwork sessions, you get a video every day from me talking to you live about different routines, practices, immune boosting tips, a whole load of different things all chucked in for 10 days. By the end of it, you'll definitely have some more tools in your armory to not only find more flow in your life, but to also enhance your physical and mental health. So I'll drop a link below if you're interested in that. Now, the other purpose of this video is just to discuss this whole January psychology of people wanting to enhance their physical and mental health. And they go about establishing these goals, targets, And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think if you go deeper in your intention behind it, rather than just trying to create the body beautiful, rather than just working on your gut biome, rather than trying to become more positive, etc. All of those are fine on their own. I'm not going to tell you whether they're good or bad things to do, but they quite often come with a time limit. And so in other words, once you've reached that goal, you then stop doing the thing that you were doing that probably made you feel really good. And of course, before that, quite often what also happens is because you're forcing this new routine, this new protocol into your life, by the end of January, that's when most people give up, as you know. So let's see if we can get you past that. And the way you do that, I've learned, is around your intention, going deeper into your psychology around your intention. And also, second of all, by being more present in the activities that you're doing. So when I talk about the intention here, for me, what really works is knowing that this journey of mine is lifelong. I don't intend to get to a point in which I can say to you lot, I've figured it all out. I don't want to get to that point. I want to keep evolving. I want to keep trying new ideas. I get excited by new practices. They don't always work, but I'll tell you if they don't. And I want, therefore, this to be a journey until my deathbed, where I can then on my deathbed say, okay, well, I figured out quite a few things that I had a really good time. I've got things I can pass on to my children, my grandchildren, to you. I may not be doing my YouTube channel by then, by the way, but you know what I mean? For me, it's a lifelong journey, and that's what really helps this up here. As soon as you set time limits, and that's why I get a little bit frustrated when I see things like YouTube videos that say in 30 days you can be this. I tried this for 30 days and I was able, these time limits then remove that thing that was probably starting to do you some real good. So start going into your intention. Your intention should be, it doesn't have to be that like me, I want this to be a lifelong practice, but it should be, why am I doing this? Because if by doing it, you start to improve your physical health, your mental health, you start improving as a human being. The way you interact with others, your children, your family, your friends improves. The way you see life improves. The way you act on opportunities improves. So surely you want to remain in those states. You want to experience life in those states, because then good things and better things start happening. More opportunities start coming your way. So your intention, therefore, is going deep into your thinking behind all of these activities. Whether it's right or wrong that you want to start building muscle in order to attract a mate is neither here nor there. But if that is what your current idea is right now, think, fine, that's okay, but I want to just think a bit deeper behind all of this, because what else could I be seeking? What else could I be learning from this? The other thing I just want to mention as a last point is that will help you on your January focus. Start, when you're doing these activities, let's say it's running, we are thankfully allowed to do that, that start to be more present in that run. Remove the technology. I know I did something on Fitbit before, and I know these things sometimes help you. But try going for a run, for example, without any technology. And when you're breathing through your run, be it deep inhales or not, start to, if you can, be more mindful with the run. Start focusing on your breath. Try slowing it down whilst you run. And if that means slowing down your run, fine, it doesn't matter, does it? Don't think about whether you're running at a good pace or not a good pace. Don't think about whether or not you're going to be running for 5 miles or 10. Start focusing instead on how you're placing your feet, whether you're running in good form. So start just feeling your body more. And by focusing on all of your senses, if you're running in nature, start using your auditory sense. Tap into all of these senses whilst you're doing that activity, and that will bring you into the moment. You'll experience transient hyperfrontality. Your prefrontal cortex will slow down. You'll get more energy in your brain that will probably enact a whole load of other things. You may well come up with the solution to life. Whatever it is, you will suddenly experience a much nicer activity, be it a run, whatever it is. Your brain will remember it. And when you do it the next day, it won't feel like a chore. If it is a chore at the moment, it won't feel like you're forcing anything because your brain remembers this amazing experience. So that's how you get, in my opinion, past January into February, into March and forever, because you're changing your intention behind that exercise. Anyway, we'll be discussing lots more on all this stuff tomorrow with Dr. Milan Hoster, 4 o'clock GMT on my YouTube channel. It's live. Do come and join us there. And also do come and join me for my little course. It's my first one. And I would expect not everything necessarily to go right, but you're going to come away with lots of things. Evolution of Dave, signing off. Bye for now. Thank you for watching.